Well, as part of the etymology of the word encyclical letter, we are here in a cycle and we are reaching the closing. So we're probably going to end before we had planned. I know that some of you are tired from your travels, and this is a very important moment for us because it's part of this importance of summarizing things in this closing conference that we named Building Bridges. We will have Rita Garatti, who is from the University of Argentina, and Cardinal Carlos Castillo, who is from Ars Lima, and he's part of the group of men that have elected the new pope. He was part of the conclave. So it's an honor that you're here, Monsignor. And we have a first round now, both of them with university experience, with territory experience. You know, what has inspired you today in the work that you saw in the groups, by the groups? Well, I wrote some things down, and this is what I wrote down. Devoted to order, from urgency to work, from crisis to hope. Crisis will not be solved. It is something that you have to live in. Well, I'm not I don't have that ability to summarize things, but there's something that I have heard a lot in this conversation, which is this concern we experience in the world. And Pope Leo is the one that has been talking about the importance of love and the importance of including this in a world, in a world where everyone is thinking about their own interests and money. And the time that Jesus had to show that he loves mankind for free. And we are in a crisis because we know that we want to discuss about building bridges that will bring reconciliation, that will bring fraternity, that will allow humankind to move forward in all different areas. So my idea here, and which was involved in the group discussion, is that we want to re-include our universities in the processes of societies, but in a specific focus that comes from Pope Francis's work. How do we include ourselves in invisible movements? What is an invisible movement? Well, it is this immediate reaction of the peoples, those who are suffering, the poor, which is this idea that you are connected to life and hope, and even though you suffer, you don't lose. And this generates creative initiatives that many times don't take into consideration the knowledge that is what we teach in our universities. Universities that experience the contact and the relationship with these movements that are in society implicate in this effort of actually leaving the strict world of theoretical, scientifical consideration, but it means not only renouncing, but creating different forms of knowledge. And with all the technology that we have around the world and with all the development, we have not moved from the idea of study requires experiment and you need knowledge, and simultaneous to that, you need to have experiments in the right conditions. And with all the experiences throughout life of our universities wanted to understand complexity, and understanding this in the complexity of everything. And this is something that has come in different cases. He went to Lima a few years ago, and he went to Madre de Dios, and the artisans from Madre de Dios, who, just like the Amazon that we have there, they were telling him their dreams and their myths, those that they had reconsidered according to, everything that they had experienced because of the mining work and the oil exploration work. And the Pope said, well, these stories and these myths and these dreams are the future of Peru. So in the dreams, you're actually anticipating what you want for your children. And he also said this, when he went to Peru. The difference is that in Chile, not many people went to see the Pope, but in Peru, there, because of the number of religious people there, people were waking up their children to go meet him. And he said, you're the parents are going to fight for them, and they're going to fight for the future. And this is important because significant movements have been treated, for example, when we received social movements, but nobody believed them because they were very small movements. But yes, they are those who are actually growing, and they are very small, but they have this huge potential. But a biblical teaching on this that has a lot to share with the world. The God of the Bible is a God that is hiding. This is what Isaiah says. And when we look at this problem in Israel, there's a child, and he always elects the last one. Why? Why does God always pick the last? Because history or stories tend to close themselves, and the last one is the one that can finish things. Many of you were the last ones in your homes, and you had to open your homes. And the other possibility would be to abort it. And God makes humankind be regenerated through the last ones. And this is very important because our ability to dream contains in itself all of the experience of the periphery. So this is the idea I have, because this reinsertion of universities is actually a calling for us to drink from what we can see. And in Peru, in the last times, we had, it seems that the last one, we had so many governments that had problems in corruption, and they're in jail. But the main problem is that this mindset of these presidents shows the absence of acknowledging people and their problems. And concretely, everything started from a coup from Congress that lasted for 2 days. But the dictator gave the order to the army to kill the young men that were protesting. And we have 2 that died because of a protest. And it says in the video, he says, kill them, and he killed them. After this, the young people were not going to the streets anymore. They did go, but the curious thing is that after this date, all over the country, there was this rare issue, because in all squares on Saturdays and Sundays, young people started dancing on the streets and in the squares. And of course, not only rock that they want, but traditional dances, collective dances, where there's harmony, there's meeting, there's friendship. This is the country that we want, filled with hope and joy. And I asked, and I told Pope Francis that, and he told me, that's what I want to say to you. Look to the trees and to the flowers and to the skies. You know, as Jesus said that he was taking care, that God was taking care of the flowers and the birds, of course he would take care of the ones that are the ye of little faith, right? He's not going to say men, he says ye, those who have the faith of the few, in the same way that we have an oligopoly. It's not a few, the business of few. They say few business. So oligarchy, it's the government of the few. Oligopecia means the faith of little, not those of little faith, because if we want to imitate the great ones to follow their path, we would want to be like the big ones, the great ones. But what the world is asking us is for us to work, considering this is a human crisis, sometimes ecological, but also from a human ecology standpoint. But we are being called to put ourselves in the most insignificant of those processes and to want them to blossom and to want them to grow. And you know, you have your thoughts and your science, but you also need to use the research methods. And this is what we did, and we were talking about the experience, and the value of experience. And in the church, there's just rejection to experience because it's subjective and the truth is actually objective. But actually, the objective truth for the church is not a fixed concept. It's an open path. It's love. It's a mystery that is unveiling itself. And so all of the human knowledge and everything that we study takes us to this reinsertion so that we can find the most unexplainable things in life, so that we can make hope bloom in these young people, for example, that were dancing, as I said, right? They're dancing because they have a real hope. They know that things will bloom in time. Thank you very much for this round. Well, what was saying about chaos and order, chaos and mystery. Monsignor was also talking about the role of youth. And in this first journey, this idea of organizing hope, how do you see the protagonism of youth? Well, not only young people from 18 to 21, but all of the young people like us who are here. Because if there's something that we have in common, is the passion for university. If we are here, it means that we love the university and we know that the university can contribute to a better world. So better than working with the young people that are younger than we are, that feed into our idealism and to our own youth. Many times professors, administrative folks, they go to the professor's lounge and they're always complaining about young people and say, oh, the young people don't study. But we need to remember that young people can give you a new perspective about things. They can bring you a more youthful perspective to you. If we consider open universities, universities that will allow to be impregnated with knowledge and that build knowledge and that will give back to solutions, we need to avoid this idea that, you know, it's young people and old people, you know, people that are going to be displaced or discarded and those who are not. No, we are all valuable. And in universities, we need to value young people But this will be a wonderful synthesis. But of course, we need to grow more in the love that we have for them, in the understanding we have for them. And currently, the university has several realities. There are virtuous ones and painful ones. We can have young people that have psychological problems, economic issues, and others that will have a more simple life. And we need to understand that those who are coming from pain, they are contributing with their critical spirit and their strength. And others can provide the means and ideas, but if there's no connection or fellowship between them, we will continue to reflect on these generational difficulties. So we need to have this. We need to focus on this passion that we have for the university, and we need to understand that the university can make a substantial contribution to COP and to many more other realities. So all the leaders in the world, they come from universities. Our researchers, our politicians, they were our fellow colleagues. They were our students. So we have a responsibility. We need to tell them and say, listen, remember when you were in class and you said this and said that? So the university has a great pathway forward to make popular, act, and put in the curriculum, think and imagine everything that's possible, because it truly is possible. Thank you very much, Rita. Now, to conclude the panel, Monsignor, and also considering your training as a sociologist, youth protagonism, what I asked Rita in the care for the common home, how do you see that? How do you analyze that? Well, I have said many things in the different universities. It is seen as the beginning, so they propose to young people. I'm talking about the National Engineering University in Peru. They say that there are benefits for ecology. So we got so many different answers. There was a kid who invented something related to the rain, because in Lima it never rains. So he was inventing this to deal with the fog. So the fog is always close to the lower mountains. And so he created these panels in which, when fog comes, the panels are covered in water. And so this goes to reservoirs, and then they divide the water, and it's very good water. It's not rain, but it helps. So this type of initiative, it is very frequent, and it's important because young people really want to look to their future, and they're very much concerned. So regarding what was said, I believe that the most important way for us to create more protagonism for young people to live according to their callings is to listen to what they have to say. So considering all the problems that they have, and now I'm talking to our rector who's here, there are many human significant problems. In all universities we see this, right? Because of, they suffer so much because they're lonely or because they don't have a present father. So there was a conversation between Pope Francis and 7 young people, and all these young people had different complex backgrounds. So there was a very conservative group of the church that said, no, these are all these lesbians who are there, part of this conversation. And he said, well, when people have issues, you need to listen to them and you need to understand them. We cannot judge them. God will judge them. And God always forgives us. So If we understand this understanding and trying to express everything they are experiencing the world, then we have the same that happened to those peasants in Madrid, in Lima. You know, that's the future of mankind. We need to help them provide order and help them organize. And there's several initiatives that were done in the movement with the dances, as I said, and the youth pastoral of Lima started contacting them, and we did this great movement because all the everyone wants to learn how to dance, right? Even those who are in church.
And there are other elements such as companionship, and I believe it's very important, which is what we learn in our time. It's this sense of critical thinking, of talking about things, and I've been talking about this a long time at my church, my archdiocese. The singularity of church won't go back. There is no turning back. As I said, Pope Leo XIV, his whereas he said, we can um, welcome all. We have to understand this very complex world, and no one has a magic wand to do that. So when we have a democracy that, due to the limitations it has, because it has been limiting itself in its elections, we need to we need to broaden in all senses. Communion needs to be turned into synodality. The church needs to have its ears open to the world. We need to be the role model. Without saying we are the role model, we are working on this. And this is very interesting because we can see, and we are proposing a sort of dialogue between what we do and what the world is going through so intensively. We need to solve this with everybody. We can't just solve this on our own. We're not only the Pope. Okay, dialogue. So let's establish this dialogue. We have a few minutes still. So the floor is open for questions. In the first time Pope Francis came, he came to São Paulo and he said, dialogue, dialogue, dialogue. So the floor is open for questions. We had valuable contributions from the groups, and so if you want to share with us any comments or questions, please feel welcome to do so. The microphone is available. Anyone? Thank you. Your name, where are you from? My name is Rosana. I am the director of, I'm going to speak in Portuguese, as a challenge for all of our guests from Latin America. I believe that, first of all, I would like to thank and salute all the participants, and thank you for your words, your brilliant words. I would like to call your attention to one aspect: the importance that COP30 will have for universities, how important it will be for universities. I believe that this is a space that we cannot waste. And it's important that we leave here today, not today, but at the end of this Congress, with a document that will not only represent the ideas of this forum here, but that it can be added to, that other networks from Latin America can add to. May we fight for this space so that universities can be heard. Because I had the opportunity to talk. Can you understand what I'm saying? Since I had the opportunity to talk in our group number one, this is not an event that gathers higher education institutions. This is a global event. It's an event that calls our attention to the most severe problem of our time, the climate crisis. And it's a crisis that we need to consider because it involves everything. It has to do with economy, uh, exacerbated consumerism, hunger, extreme poverty, unemployment, thousands and thousands of children who die with no health care, with the horrendous things that are done to women in the 21st century all around the world. All of this has to do with policies that are put into practice and that usurp and destroy the environment and also life, human life. So I think it is crucial that we leave this Congress, and this is not a question. I don't know if RUC has this has a strategy, but the strategy I would like to propose is that this document be discussed with other networks in Latin America and the Caribbean. We have representatives of GCUB, the network I'm part of, with rectors, presidents, and other representatives, and we have other networks in Brazil, for example, that would like, for sure, they would like to be part of this movement. So thank you very much. This is my contribution. I believe that we should seriously consider making sure that this space builds bridges and the ability to reconcile and change, bring about change of this development model that we've built so far, which is an unsustainable model. That's why we talk about sustainable development, because what we've built so far also brought about war, hunger, extreme poverty, inequality, and our hope, our active hope, is to change the situation. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Excellent contribution. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. I would like to speak in Portuguese as well. My name is Girlene. I am the president of a federal university in the city called Juiz de Fora in the state of Minas Gerais. First of all, I'd like to thank you. I think that we've left our comfort zone. We're here. And just the fact of being here means that we have already committed to something. But I'd like this meeting to be based on a very interesting verb, which is esperançar, to hope. And I want us to look at the Amazon, but in doing that, we're actually looking at the inequalities of the world. And we are bold enough to try to solve all the inequality in the world because we put ourselves in a place that universities can and should do that. This is the role they play. So we were in a group that included students, and I was very happy about because of that. I'm going to talk about the network that I know the most, the federal network. We have more than 1.2 million students. I'm not talking about a small place. I'm talking about a generation that needs to understand that caring for the planet is the only possibility we have to have a less unequal world. This generation that teases me and provokes me in my environment to think about a methodology that will transform lives needs to understand that artificial intelligence should be used to improve the lives of people, to reduce inequality. And this meeting, from what I've seen so far, and I'm here since the early morning, it has pushed us to think about what world do I want? What can I do for this world? And I think that what we can do is care for our planet. And caring for the planet means that I need to look closely and pay attention to others, to the other. Listen, listening, trying to understand, actively listening. So I'd like to thank you for this, the possibility of this meeting. May we reach COP30 in Belém by saying that what the role of the church is, because the church can reach places that we can't as university, but the university, and I'm going to say be more specific about Latin America, because university is closer to the community in Latin America, because the community has touched us. And when I raised my hand to talk, my goal was to reaffirm the commitment of public university in Brazil, because we need funding to help change the lives of people and of our society.
Un ejercicio fuerte de
Very strong exercise of synodality, which is what we're doing here. Anyone else? Good afternoon to all. I believe that the university is a critical context, a place of critical thinking, the reality of the world that we live in. I believe that all universities are very much responsible, because the professionals that graduated from universities are part of many programs. And I believe that we also need to carry out, to act according to the methodology we teach, because there are some people who continue to build this world. And I believe that it's very important for us to change the methodology so that we can reach a methodology that will help young people to experience and work with solidarity, and that they can be aware of this experience, not because of the results, but because they feel, because they see poverty, they see marginalized populations. It's not that they imagine someone that is not connected to the internet, but people who are actually, they can see people who are not connected. And so we need them to learn how to be in solidarity, because if we want different results, we need to make changes, because otherwise they will not get different results with the classical education that we've been using to teach a privileged sector of our society. So I believe the great challenge is to include this into our curriculum, to educate and train our professors to exercise this culture of encounter, so that they can be future politicians, future businessmen that will deal with the reality of our countries, so that they can truly work towards the good, the common good in communities. I believe this is a time, as was said, a time of integration, reconciliation, and fraternity. If we want to live this to be any reality in our continent, a continent that is so marked by inequality, and also marked by the Catholic and Christian Church, I think this is a very important calling for us to look for different paths to get better results. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Gustavo Boquin from Universidad Católica de Argentina. Anyone else? Okay, very well. This has been a long journey, a very tiring journey, but also a very productive journey. So, Laura?
El rector
The president is inviting us to do something that requires our commitment. Can we recover what this day brought about in terms of changes in us? So the presidents were proposing this, how um, this affects us, how this implicates us. No one can say that this today did not happen, that today does not happen. So right now, could we try to look at each other so that we can try to look at each other's faces and recognize who we are, who is here, and what are we committing to? I know that all of you are very important people, but maybe if you could stop and stand, maybe we could push the chairs and look at each other. Also, this don't look forward. Don't look, everybody look forward. Look at each other. Can we organize ourselves in a circle, please? If we get rid of the chairs, maybe moving away from our zone of comfort, our comfort zone. Okay? I'll ask you, could you please gather around in a circle without the chairs? Just a circle, a broad circle of presidents, rectors, representatives of universities of Europe and Latin America, because we share because we share this in this journey, the challenge of building bridges, of building a common space. Because the bridge joins one place to the other, so it allows us to go from one point to the other. But it also teaches us who we are. But it also teaches us that there are things that are uncomfortable that need to be faced. So the challenge is the language, is how to name the new space. How can we name this that is nameless, and how can we share this with someone that doesn't speak the same language that we do? And this is us. Let's look at each other. This is the commitment. This is a day we're making a commitment. Thank you very much for being here. We deserve a round of applause.
Bueno, aquí me pide una caipiriña.
Now I'd like to have a caipirinha. Thank you very much. Let's conclude this day, this journey. An old Jesuit told me something. He said that a good homily is done with a word, a feeling, and an image. A word, a feeling, and an image. So I'd like to invite each one of you, maybe have a word, a feeling, and an image for this day.
A mí la palabra es comunidad.
But for me, the word is community. The feeling is that we're doing something new. It's a movement.
And the image is a bridge. You know, we're building bridges. My word is mystery, and my feeling is gratitude. And my image is the forest that is so beautiful here on campus. My word is unity. My feeling is love. And the image is the image of this university. I had never been here before, and it shows the unity and the love that we should continue to cultivate, all of us. My word is hope, and the feeling is gratitude, and the image is Mafalda inviting us all to build a better world. Thank you. Well, my word is also hope, and my image is of young people, and I imagine the young people walking and moving, answering, giving their opinion, and, you know, making a mess, as Pope Francis said. Well, my word is education, and my feeling is of strength in this moment, and my image is of a team. My image is dream, my word is possible, and my image is fraternity. Fraternity is what I was thinking about with the mantle of the Virgin of Guadalupe, and my feeling is gratitude. My word is dialogue. My image is joy, you know, something playful of us here and playing. And my feeling is I'm in conflict. My word is cooperation. My image is a seed sprouting, and my feeling is of gratitude. My word is diversity. My feeling right now is of fellowship, and the image is this image of the young people dancing in the square. My feeling is hope too. My word is fellowship or community, and the image is the seed that we started planting today. I'm sorry? A challenge. 2 more. And tomorrow we will continue with everyone else, okay? I can see your faces. So just 2 more and we're done, okay?
Eso, más dos.
Yes, 2 more. 2 more and we're done. Well, education, I also have this feeling of much conflict, and the image is nature in the Amazon. Well, to conclude, my word is unity, my feeling, much hope, and the image is what it was said, you know, having everyone present here, those who came, young people like myself, and we feel very happy. Well, now we are closing. We see each other at 9 tomorrow. And we will always conclude at 5 in the afternoon so that all of you can be, you know, free and you can talk and meet other people. And for those who want to, Cardinal is going to celebrate the Mass here in the church. So if you want to come, you can come if you would like. And tomorrow we are going to start at 9. You know the method. We're going to listen, synodality. This is how we're going to work with. And there's abundant material. A lot of what is being said is being recorded. And then we are going to continue sharing what we're building together. We have more days that are sort of open. So let's see what we're going to do. First day was just amazing with the Pope and everything. So thanking God, thanking all of you. May you rest. And tomorrow we'll be back here at 9. Thank you very much.